watching after the stream. If you're joining us afterwards, make sure to skip forward 2 minutes so you don't miss anything and you get straight into the action. But good morning, everybody. Good morning, Adam. Good morning, Lachlan. How are you all doing, guys? Good morning, the United Road. Haven't seen you in here before. Swaggart says, can anyone tell me what MPB means? Mate, I don't know. I don't know what MPB means. How are we all doing, chat? It's a Tuesday. How did everyone's Monday go? Let me know. How did everyone's Monday go? We've got a lot to talk about. Some Marcus Rashford news just dropped. Manuel Ugarte is a name of discussion. Christopher Vivell will be discussed today. We've got a lot of names to talk about. Joshua Zirkzee as well. How that deal was just frustrating and frustrating me more and more. We'll get started in just a minute. We'll get some people filtered through. Hope we're all doing well. Good morning, Josh. Haven't seen you in the stream for a bit. Hope you're doing well. Lachlan, how did your soccer match go? Or football, as we say over here. So I get boring. Well, I just don't know, bruv. I just don't know. Good morning, Z. How you doing, mate? Give it one more minute. We'll let everyone filter through and we will kick off. Loads to talk about today, guys. You do not want to miss a second of this stream. We're breaking down everything from Manuel Ugarte to Marcus Rashford and the big questions surrounding him. Swaggart saying Rashford is leaving finally. We're talking about that, shall we? Let's get into it. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the MPB Morning Show. I'm your host, Alex, at Alex Talksall, and we've made a major signing, which takes on the form of a loan with an option to extend. I'm not talking about a player, though. I'm talking about Ineos's latest recruit in the form of Christopher Vivell. But first, I'm going to be discussing the deal from Manuel Ugarte and how we have the green light to proceed with the deal. But first, if you're excited for all that, please leave a like on the video and hit that subscribe button. We're aiming for 5,000 subscribers in the month of July. We hit 500,000 followers on X last month. Can we hit our goal this month? Yeah, if you're going to enjoy the stream, if you're looking forward to it, get involved in the chat down below. It is a community. It is a family on the MPB Morning Show, and I want to hear every single one of your opinions. Good morning, Daniel. Adam, sorry, I've been on for a while, been at college. Don't apologise, my friend. Education comes before the MPB Morning Show, always. But as per, I'm going to try and educate you guys on the reports and the journalism. We can talk about it together and break down the code that is journalist talk sometimes. Fabrizio Romano put out a report on Manuel Ugarte saying, Manchester United have received the green light from Manuel Ugarte. United have also received the green light from PSG in terms of the French side being open to selling Ugarte. Now it's up to United to make an official bid. Well, it's reassuring. It's very reassuring, this news. But let's sort of break down the very ambiguous term that is green light. I mean, we hear it from journalists a lot. Obviously, it means going forward with the deal. But what does it actually mean? Have we agreed a fee? Have we agreed personal terms? Let's sort of break it down. We've received no official confirmation from anyone that we've sort of agreed personal terms. Ugarte is willing to join. I don't think we would be proceeding in this deal if we weren't confident we could agree reasonable personal terms with Ugarte. And I think the way we've communicated with PSG has been very open. It's been very honest. There's obviously a very good connection between the two clubs, a very good relationship. So I don't think we're going to be the sort of club. I think we're going to go through PSG first, and then we're going to go to Ugarte, because the main stumbling block with this deal is the price. It is the price, because the green light here from PSG does not mean a fee's been agreed. It does not mean that the deal's close in any chance when it comes to fee-wise. But it just means that, look, they're open to proposal and we're going to talk to them. When it comes to the fee, I think £30 million is reasonable. How much do you think we need to be paying for Ugarte, chat? Let me know. Lachlan, you lost 1-0. Oh, it's okay, mate. Oh, it's okay. Swaggart says, please tell me something about Christopher Vivell. In 5-10 minutes, mate, we'll be going in depth on the career of Christopher Vivell and breaking him down. Right now, we're going to talk about Manuel Ugarte, because after the Joshua Zirkzee news, which we got the other day about him sort of waiting for the Euros, I'm becoming more and more optimistic that Ugarte will be the first one through the door. But anyway, chat, let me know. Manuel Ugarte, how much would you be paying for him? How much would you be paying for Manuel Ugarte? £30 million and a bit more. We went through an opening offer with £25 million. PSG want around 50 million euros. That's coming to like what, 42 million pounds, 45 million pounds. If we somehow get like 35 million pounds from Manuel Ugarte, I think we've done very, very, very well. Beyonce, green light, yeah, no. It's a very vague term, isn't it? It's a very, very vague term. But I think we'll proceed with a bid for Ugarte in the next few days. I mean, we had a Uruguayan source came out and sort of suggest that. Adam Calvert, Ugarte might be injured apparently. I don't think he is. He seems fine. He scored the winner last night, didn't he? In the Uruguay game. 30 to 35 million pounds. I think so. He's not had the best of seasons. I mean, we on this channel have come to blows before about about Manuel Ugarte and just how good he is. And in a second, because it does seem likely he's going to be the number 6 choice coming into the club, I'm going to be breaking down quite deeply into how he's going to fit in the system and just how we can play football with Manuel Ugarte. Staber says 35 to 40 million pounds, including add-ons. I think 35 plus add-ons is fair. I think 35 plus add-ons is fair. That's sort of what I'm coming to. Good morning, everybody who just joining the stream. But Manuel Ugarte, how he was benched last season, he was benched last season. I mean, Alvarez, player we were linked to, had a fantastic season for West Ham, but everyone seemingly prefers Ugarte. Why is that? Well, I've been watching a bit more of Manuel Ugarte. I've been paying a bit more attention to him. Sort of trying to see where everyone is coming from. Where's this hype? Why is he better than Amadou Onana? Why? Well, first of all, he's more refined than Onana. I'll give him that. He seems a bit more comfortable on the ball at times. He drives forward with the ball really well, and that's something which we have lacked this season. Players who can drive from the with the ball from midfield. I mean, remember Scott McTominay, Fred, Bruno Fernandes. I love Bruno a lot. He's not a man to beat 2 or 3 guys either by taking it past the man skillfully or just charging through them. He's not that sort of player. Scott McTominay, Fred, when we had them in that midfield, they didn't have that either. And Nemanja Matic was the last thing we saw. No, Paul Pogba was the last sort of player we sort of had. Kobe Mainoo's come in and done really well, sort of taking the ball, progressing forward, beating a man or two. That's really helped with us this season. But Manuel Ugarte doesn't skillfully take us past this man. Doesn't sort of manoeuvre it round, doesn't drop a fade. He just charges through. Manuel Ugarte just sort of runs through you. I really quite like that about him. He just doesn't care. He sees you standing there, he's just going to charge straight through you. Very powerful runner, very powerful strides, a big body. He's 6 foot tall. And that's good. I mean, we have sort of different ways to progress the ball. It means we're not so limited, which I felt at times we were last season, especially when we lacked a really good ball carrier in terms of Luke Shaw. You want players who can progress the ball in a variety of ways. And carrying the ball is certainly a really good way to do that. He can win balls, he can make forward passes. Can he make forward passes? Can he? Can he? I'm not too sure. He's a very safe footballer. And that's why if I was to play Manuel Ugarte, it would be in a double pivot. I wouldn't have him as a single 6. I think if I look at that squad, I wouldn't have him as like what Amrabat does. And you know how Amrabat like is a lone pivot, and in possession he'll split the centre backs. You'll have Varane going wide. FA Cup final. Amrabat becomes a central centre back. Varane goes right. Lisandro Martinez goes left. Amrabat's in the middle, and he dictates play from there. Ugarte can't do that. I haven't seen enough of him. I know everyone's saying, "Oh, I'm being really harsh on his on-ball ability." No, no, I'm being honest about his ability. He's not that sort of player. He wins balls, which is why in a double pivot, he'd work really well alongside Kobe Mainoo, even Sofiane Amrabat. If we really want to be defensive in the big games, say we come up against, I don't know, say City on a mad one, and we need a bit of security. Say we've got a couple centre-backs out, and Amrabat Ugarte double pivot, I really like the sound of. But Ugarte and Kobe Mainoo a double pivot is probably the most likely solution, because I don't think Ugarte can cover all the ground on his own in a single pivot. I know you lot seem to think he can. I mean, Swagger says he can win balls. He can win balls. Not at the proficiency, I think, at a Premier League level. I think he'd work really well in a double pivot. Sort of working along Kobe. It'd be a bit more defensive, but it gives Kobe license to go forward. Ugarte can stay back sometimes and vice versa. So look, that's sort of my opinion on how we line up with Ugarte. I think you barely give him any on-ball responsibility at all when it comes to progressing the ball. In the first phase of play, you don't go near him. You know how we used to do with Casemiro at Real Madrid? So what happened was everyone sees Casemiro as the six, this ball-winning defender who wins everything in the middle of the park, starts everything. He didn't. They put Casemiro as like a 10 in build-up at Real Madrid and allowed Modric and Kroos to sort of build the ball out from the back. That is what I would do with Manuel Ugarte, getting far away from the first phase of build-up, getting far away, and let the really sort of technical lads, the Lisandro Martinez's, the Kobbie Mainoo's, the Matthijs de Ligt, if you want to go that far, the Diogo Dallas, give them the on-ball responsibility, keep Ugarte away from it. And that is the only way, in my opinion, that this deal works. It's the only way I can see Manuel Ugarte working for Manchester United if he's kept away from every on-ball responsibility. That's just my opinion. And I mean, Pete Hall agrees with me. He said Manchester United are expected to make a concrete offer for Manuel Ugarte. United see Kobbie Mainoo as a more box-to-box option, hence the need for another more defensive pick in midfield. Casemiro is expected to depart this summer. First of all, Casemiro is leaving, everyone. Yay. Great news. I'm so happy. Let me know, chat. Are we happy Casemiro's leaving? My birthday's in a week's time, says Alan Calvert. Good luck, not good luck. Happy birthday, my friend, for a week's time. If you don't come on my stream on your birthday, please enjoy yourself. Don't subject yourself to this. But no, happy birthday for a week's time, mate. Good morning, Alaito. I mean, would you be happy if we signed Ugarte alongside another ball playing 6 and 8, like Wafer, Højlund, etc.? Yes. Yes, I would. I think Ugarte is more of a tool. He's a better Fred. Ugarte is a better Fred. He raises the physical floor a little bit. He brings bundles of energy. He can work a double pivot. He's quite he works. But I don't think he's your long-term 6, is sort of my issue with Ugarte. I don't really know why we're seeking a sort of Swiss Army knife player this early. I don't know why. But again, that double pivot idea, which Pete Hall suggesting, I agree with, allowing Kobbie Mainoo a bit more license to go forward. Ugarte has to sit back a little bit more, pardon me, but still on a double pivot. I like it. Christopher Vivell, our new head of recruitment, at least for this summer he is. At least the summer that he is. We will be getting on to Christopher Vivell very, very soon. But chat, let me know, what do we feel about Ugarte? What do we feel about him? Do you agree with how I would use him? Would you have him in a lone pivot? How would you feel about that? Do you think he could do it on his own? I don't think he can, but I've been really, really critical of Ugarte. I've gotten a lot of trouble on this stream for saying Manuel Ugarte is worse than Amadou Onana, who, by the way, absolutely clamped up Kylian Mbappe yesterday. Clamped him up. G. Robinson says, baller, mate, he's so good. How good he was last night. Wow, injured though, scary. You're talking about Ugarte? I didn't watch Ugarte last night. I saw he was involved in like one of the goals or something, and it's a really bad challenge, but hey-ho. Alex, don't you think we could use Sancho as a bait to bring Schlotterbeck? I have no knowledge of Schlotterbeck at all. So you're going to have to sort of tell me about that. Sonny Milan, are you a coach? I'm not a coach, unfortunately. I'm not a coach. I am simply the mufcMPB host. That's all I am. And if you're enjoying the stream so far, guys, please leave a like. We're 8 likes away from 20 likes. I'd love to hit 35 likes today on this lovely Tuesday. I hope you're enjoying your day so far. Clamps him up. Belgium out the tournament, mate. What did Kylian Mbappe do yesterday? What did Kylian Mbappe do yesterday? What did he do? Genuinely. Against Onana, what did he do? And how did France score again? No. I think, to me, nah. Amadou Onana is a very, very, very good football player, and you can't blame Belgium and was it Yamba Tongan's goal? Am I making that up? It was an own goal that locked them out, so hey-ho. That's my answer to that, my friend. That's my answer. United should discuss Zubimendi along with Ugarte. The thing with Zubimendi is, if he's going to go anywhere, he's going to go to Arsenal. That's just sort of the sort of situation there. But he's also not going to move. It's a thing with like the Real Sociedad players, like Athletic Bilbao. They have a really strong connection to their clubs. So it's going to cost an arm and a leg and a sort of disgruntlement at their current club and the way they're being treated for him to move. So that's the thing. I don't think there's many someone to push for personally. Oh, pardon me, sorry. Tebster, I think United like Onana, but don't want to go in for him yet because they're still working on the Branthwaite deal, hence looking at Ugarte. I think, oh God, we're going to argue about Onana. We can't argue about Onana again, chat. We do this every stream. So we're just praising people for clamping. Is that the club we've come to? No, I'm praising him for clamping Kylian Mbappe. Is what I'm praising him to doing. The best player in world football. And Onana just did that. Nah, you're not doing anything. That's what he did. So I am praising. As a number 6, I'm allowed to praise him for that. And Ugarte's biggest thing gets praised the most for is running about and making tackles. That's what he gets. Oh, no Onana talk. We can't do it. Yeah, it's a bit boring. We know you like Onana. Exactly. I'm going to move on from Onana. I'm sick and tired of talking about him as well. But we will be moving on to Christopher Vivell in just a second, chat. And we'll be talking about Marcus Rashford later, everybody. Some huge news just came out about that earlier. We want to guard... Why, WY? Because I'm heartbroken. But that's why, my friend. That's why. But Ugarte, chat. Let's see. I want to see a stream of responses. We've got some more people in here now. How much is the highest you'd pay for Manuel Ugarte, everybody? How much? And when you say that, would you play him as a lone 6? Would you pay him as an 8? Would you play him alongside Kobbie Mainoo? Let me know. Let me know. Stop talking about Onana. Sorry, mate. I've stopped now. I've stopped. I promise. I promise, chat. Who do we have a competent board and staff? That would anyone they sign. Us fans have to be fully supportive and not doubt that. Now that's fair. That's fair. I'm trying to get behind the Ugarte signing, chat. I'm trying my best. £45 million says Huda. I get that. 45 million. I think it's fair. Seems like De Ligt ain't coming. Bayern fans want him to stay. I mean, do that? I mean, I'm assuming they do. Is that going to stop us from... Oh, hello. Mike Verwedgie says, Bayern Munich fans have created a petition to keep Matthijs de Ligt at the club. Well, I can make a petition to go on a date with Dua Lipa. Doesn't mean I'm going to get that, am I? I don't think it's going to matter a great deal, to be honest with you. Don't think it's going to matter a great deal. Alongside Kobbie, yeah. I think a Kobbie double pivot could do a swap for who? Adam Calvert. £45 million max, play double pivot with Kobbie. Exactly. You know what? I could get behind a Kobbie Mainoo Ugarte double pivot. I could. I'll get along with it, chap. I'll get along with it. 35 plus 5. I think will end up being like 40 plus 5 or 35 plus 10. I think that's the sort of thing we're going to sort of end up with. 3-4-3, and then we could always play with a double pivot and let go of that hunt for the perfect number 6 that may not exist. I'm not going to say his name. I promise you. Adam Calvert, Casemiro. Ooh, would you keep Casemiro if we only bring in Ugarte, chat? Would you bring him in? But a 3-4-3 with a double pivot. Ooh. I mean, I don't love it. No. Because then what do you do with Bruno? Do you play him off the... No, I don't know what you do with Bruno there, unfortunately. I mean, unless you did a 3-4-1-2, and then you had like... If you want to play as a double pivot there, then you'd have a back 3 of 3 centre-backs. Shaw, Dallo on the right and left. Ugarte, Mainoo in the middle. And then you'd have Bruno as the 10 there. And then what, like a Rashford, Xerxes up front. But then what do you do with Garnacho? What do you do with Højlund? What do you do with Ahmad? We have so many weak... I'm going to... No, I'm going to be... I'm going to hold firm there. Swaggett, can we include Sancho and Greenwood for the Ugarte and Xavi Simons deal? I'd love to. I think Xavi Simons has gone to Bayern Munich, though. I think Xavi Simons has gone to Bayern Munich, Note because Ugarte is not a good forward passer, he is a lone destroyer. He's a Casemiro replacement. Kobe alongside him is more sound. Yeah, that's fair. Bruno false nine. No. No. I mean, just play Xerxes there. If you want to do a false nine, play Xerxes. He's probably a lot more suited to the role than Bruno is. But chat, put him off long enough. Let's talk about their latest signing, which Manchester United have made. We've made numerous this summer. Jason Wilcox, Omar Bavada. We've brought in Dan Ashworth finally, and the day after, we have brought in the highly touted, the highly respected Christopher Vivell. As per, Orny broke it. Orny broke the news because apparently he knows everything at this point. The man is practically God. He's omniscient, he's omnipotent, he is everywhere. And he broke the news that Christopher Vivell is set to join Manchester United to help with the club's recruitment. Let me find it. We're working to appoint him on a short-term basis to help with the summer transfer window. He will lend expertise around talent ID and player recruitment, everybody. Christopher Vivell will bring knowledge of operating in a multi-club model to Manchester United, which the club's new hierarchy is expected to explore going forward. He will report to Omar Bavada. Chat, let me know. How do we feel about this? I mean, Z's already said my only downside to him was his time at Chelsea. Now, I'm going to contend with this a little bit. Personally, his time at Chelsea is his biggest green flag. It seems a little bit toxic, but let me explain. This is a very highly respected individual. He worked his butt off at RB Leipzig. He started, or the RB sort of club model. He started at Hoffenheim in 2010, where he worked his way up to become chief scout. He worked numerous positions there, all involved around squad planning and built in talent ID. In 2020, he goes to the Red Bull sort of club setup and again sort of moves up through the ranks. He was like a chief scout, then a squad planner. He's got numerous roles. He went from RB Salzburg to RB Leipzig. He was really involved there. Very respected, worked well within a system, brought in numerous signs. Let's go through some of the players this man signed, everybody. I have a few here if I can find them. He brought in Haaland, Adeyemi, Haidara at Salzburg. He brought in Gvardiol, Simakan and Rahm at Leipzig. Mind you, he pushed to sign Gvardiol at Chelsea as well. He brought in Szoboszlai and Benjamin Sesko for Red Bull sort of clubs in general. I mean, that is an incredible talent ID, chat. Every single one of them are hits. I mean, Haaland, he brought him to Salzburg when everyone wanted him, and Christopher Vivell was the man who brought him there. Adeyemi, Haidara, both very highly talented players who may not have achieved what they were sort of pushed towards. But Adeyemi, he's at Dortmund now, was in the Champions League final. Haidara's not really achieved the same heights. Gvardiol, he's won a Premier League with City. Simakan Raul, I'm less familiar with. Szoboszlai at Liverpool, killing it, had an okay Euros with Hungary. Sesko, one of the most highly touted strikers in the world, linked to an 60, 70, 80 million pound move to Arsenal. This is the talent ID that we have at the club now, going into what was the biggest summer window of Manchester United's Ineos regime. It will be the biggest window we'll ever have. It sets the tone, and we have the best in class here. I mean, come on. I'm very happy. We are recreating Moneyball, says Huda. It is a Moneyball-esque style, with a little bit of a Manchester United thrown into it. But let's speak about Chelsea. You mentioned Chelsea there. He then gets brought in to be technical director. And he is a man with just incredible experience. A proven track record. The best in the world at what he does. The words best in class, United don't use lightly. We only go after the very, very best. And Christopher Vivell, he is the best in class. Chelsea bought him in. And what do they do with him? They put him as a technical director, give him a big shiny office, a big shiny name tag, and they don't listen to him. He leaves in 6 months. He leaves because he doesn't think he has the influence, and he doesn't agree with the sort of structure that there is at Chelsea Football Club. That to me is a huge green flag, considering Chelsea Football Club is a really poorly run club personally. It is run appallingly. So the fact that he disagrees with that, and he's come to a club where after the Chelsea debacle, after the new ownership coming in, he is going to be quite like deservedly so, skeptical of any job he's going to take on. So he's going to have to be convinced by SJR. The presentations we're giving these men must be amazing. I want to receive one of these PowerPoint presentations. I'd love it. So he's been convinced that he's going to have the influence, that there's a proper structure. I mean, come on. Like, this is great. This is great. A top man, a top best-in-class sort of executive goes, this club, this is where I want to be. On a short-term basis with an option to extend to the sort of multi-club model. This man could sort of revolutionise this club like every single person we're bringing in. We have gone from Joel Glazer as our director of football to having Dan Ashworth overseeing everything to Jason Wilcox providing sort of tidbits on club identity to Christopher Vivell, the RB's number one man, coming in to help us. Like, come on. Guys, this is very, very, very good. So how do we feel about it, everyone? How do we feel about it? I've spoken long enough. I want to hear your opinions. Do you trust Christopher Vivell? Are you excited for him? Do you trust his talent ID? I want to know right now. Says, Alex, how much budget do we have right now? And Z says, I thought we only had 50 million to spend. This club always fools people every summer. God, this club keeps us on our toes, doesn't it? It keeps us on our toes. Look, I think the budget is a fugazi, it's a fugazi, it's fairy dust. Little reference for you lot there. Look, to me, the budget will be what the budget is. I think we have 50 million, 30 million pound in that sort of range net spend, to be honest with you. That's sort of what I'd make a guess at, which is why we're selling Greenwood, trying to sell Sancho, moving Victor Lindelof along. There was some reports from Sky Sports earlier today about Al Wan-Bissaka. Look, it's I think we're relying on outgoings quite a lot, but I think we have the money to bring in a De Ligt, to bring in maybe a Branthwaite, dependent on sales. Yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully he brings some quality signings in. I'm hoping, my friend, I'm hoping. If you're excited about the arrival of Christopher Vivell, please smash that like button. We're 8 likes away from 30 likes. I'd really appreciate it if you could show your support on the channel. And guys, make sure you tune in to the Graham Bailey interview that is going on later today, going live at 2:30 on the channel. Make sure you catch that. Our very own Anil Candola is hosting that. An exclusive interview will be dropping today. Leaf Just Perfect, Omar Bavardis CEO, Dan Ashworth Sporting Director, Jason Wilcox Technical Director, Christopher Vivell Head of Recruitment. Guys, it is an exciting time. It is transformational. It is incredible at Manchester United. Yeah, he recommended one of the best upcoming coaches in Nagelsmann over Potter/Poch, and they ignored him. He's got an eye for talent. Yeah, I bloody love Julian Nagelsmann, chat. I love him. It's the fact that Vivell was such a strong advocate for him. Yeah, I'm sold. Hoyland says, I trust in the process. I think if we're getting people in who know ball, then we're getting the right people in. These lot know ball. They're not like me, who's saying Anana's betting them better than Ugarte. They're not like I don't know, all of us who are just sort of saying our opinions and just like waffling occasionally. These lot know what they're on about. These guys are the real deal. They're the men to lead Manchester United to multiple Premier Leagues, multiple Champions Leagues. I trust these men. Who just says, yes, upside of Vale is that we're going to get some new surprising names who are going to be the next big thing rather than going after big things. Yeah, I get it. Adam Calvert, mic drop. Smash the likes, people. Please, everybody, please. Really appreciate it. I mean, guys, don't you dare go anywhere. We are talking about so much more later on in the stream. Marcus Rashford, Matthijs de Ligt, big name players who are on the big topics in Manchester United at the moment. Don't go anywhere. But let's talk about that sort of bringing in lower value players. Sort of players who are a bit hidden from the public eye. Ugarte, for all of my criticism of him, is one of those players. A name which hasn't really been mentioned much by anyone even. Player who's very highly touted at Sporting, had an underwhelming season at PSG. His value is probably the lowest it's been in years. The fact that we're going after him could be quite intelligent. I'm slowly rethinking now, like just saying all these nice things about this structure, saying, oh, we're going after all these all these like unknown players, and I'm moaning at the fact that we're not going after like the really highly touted big name Amadou Onana. Boys, I might be wrong. Boys, you lot might be right. I might concede to you lot. I've never done this before, but I might just concede to you lot. Manuel Ugarte might be the man. I need to watch some more of him, but I'll get back to you lot tomorrow. Didn't you just say it's a short-term temporary contract to Dan Mazungu? It is, but there seems to be a desire to sort of keep him on at the club. I mean, I think Simon Stone, he put out a report saying Christopher Vivell is set to join Manchester United to help with the club's recruitment. Vivell's arrival will initially be on a short-term basis to assist during the current transfer window, although an extended stay has, pardon me boys, has not been ruled out as United look to strengthen their football leadership and recruitment departments. What I think we want him for, long-term, is the multi-club model, something United want to explore. We own Nice, Ineos own Nice. We're going to look to go at other players as well. I think, other clubs, sorry. So having his experience in creating the most successful multi-club structure, apart from maybe PSG, no, not PSG, sorry, Man City, two oil clubs. You get confused sometimes. Can't we tell the difference? So yeah, I can certainly see why we're going after him for that. Would Calafiori and Branthwaite be good business on it for our upcoming centre-backs, says Tebster. I'd love both those players. They both look excellent, but I do think Matthijs de Ligt is the man we're going for. And again, we're speaking about these players with perhaps low stock value, low value at the moment after an underwhelming season, but still seeing the value in them. Matthijs de Ligt is a player just like that. A lot of noise has been made about him. A lot of noise yesterday, particularly around the fee we're negotiating with. It is 50 million euros or 42 million pounds plus add-ons. Let's sort of go through the Matthijs de Ligt story. Any last opinions on Vivell, put them in the chat and I'll respond to them. But let's get into Matthijs de Ligt, everybody. Manchester United have stepped up their interest in de Ligt. United have made contact with de Ligt's representatives and an official approach to Bayern Munich is expected soon. That's by Rob Dawson, ESPN. Again, by the way, any journalists I've sort of covered today have been excellent. We're really sort of in a golden era, I feel, of journalism at the moment. There's so many journalists doing their fact-checking, being really good, especially with Ineos coming into the club. Journalists have had to work way harder in getting their hands on information. They've had to work way, way, way harder because the leaks have been less. There's a sort of another degree of separation. It's not now just sort of Woodward Club. It's now SJR, Blanc, Wilcox, Ashworth, and then a separation. They're sort of like their own little bubble. So for it to filter down throughout the club, it's really quite difficult. And that's sort of why the journalists have to try a lot harder than Manchester United news. And it's why it's more accurate as well. If you try harder, you're going to yield better results. So any journalist I'm going to be quoting now, I'm taking it pretty much not as gospel because there's always room for error. And some people have fed different information, which might be slightly inaccurate, but it's accurate to what they know. So I'm taking a lot of this pretty much as gospel chat. Let's see. We have some news from... Dawson again says, Manchester United are open to offers for Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire this summer. If one leaves, United will push it to bring in 2 new centre-backs. Yeah, that's nice. It might be Maguire who's going to leave if de Ligt comes in. They're very similar profiles. I'd love Lindelof to leave, but I just don't know what sort of fee we can sort of muster up for him. But again, the de Ligt story continues with Plenty Gold saying Bayern Munich are demanding at least £42 million plus bonuses for Matthijs de Ligt. Chat, let me know how much. We discussed it yesterday. Do you think this fee is fair? It was sort of what we were thinking, to be fair. £42 million plus add-ons. Do you think it's fair, chat? Is this a fair amount to be paying for a former Ajax, Juventus captain even, and Bayern Munich centre-back? Is it fair? Let me know. There's some more as well. Chris Wheeler, again, he corroborates on the Plenty Goal report, saying talks are progressing between Manchester United and Bayern Munich over a deal for Matthijs de Ligt worth £42 million plus add-ons. Let's look at that again for a second. Talks are progressing between Manchester United and Bayern Munich. What that reads as, what that translates to, is the club is in direct contact with Bayern Munich. The clubs are talking to each other, which to me, it's only a good thing. It's only a good thing. The fact that clubs are in direct contact today is very, very, very good. Calvert says we were scouting De Ligt while he was at Ajax, but they turned him down because they thought he was fat. He's a very powerful looking centre-back, isn't he? He's a very powerful looking centre-back. Z says the fee is a tad bit too high, IMO. I agree. I mean, I think, you know what, I hope we get the fee down to £42 million, tying the bow and everything. That's with bonuses. I think, look, do you think Joe says £35 million plus 8 million? Yeah. I think it's fair. I think that's a very, very, very fair sum to pay. I think it's a very, 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 very fair sum to pay. Any more, I think you're overpaying a little bit. I mean, it's just not. I mean, would you not pay £50 million for him, which they're sort of asking for? Would you? I mean, let's see what Joe's saying. William Pacho, we should be challenging Liverpool with Paco and also inquire how much it would take for Calafiori. There are a lot of good Ecuadorian players under 23 years old. We should get at least one. It's not Football Manager, mate. It's not Football Manager. Hunjan says, can United bring someone dedicated to recruitment like Dougie Freedman and he can work coordinating the inter-club transfers? I'd love Dougie Freedman, but there is the saying, you can't have too many chefs in the kitchen. And I think we're reaching capacity with that, to be honest with you. We are definitely reaching capacity with the amount of chefs in the kitchen. I think we have a lot of big names. With Christopher Vivell coming in, if we brought in Freedman, I think it's quite dangerous bringing in that many people, because then how much influence can they really exert? And that's when they'll get frustrated. I mean, that's why Vivell left Chelsea. So, but let's talk a little bit about how De Ligt would fit into the system with Manuel Ugarte and with Joshua Zirkzee and what their roles would be in the squad. Because coming into the side, I mean, I spoke to someone very recently about De Ligt being maybe a bit more simple than Branthwaite in what he can offer. He's not as versatile. Branthwaite can be a left centre-back and a left back. He can play right centre-back. He can play central centre-back. De Ligt can play central centre-back and right centre-back in a back three and a back two respectively. Which gives us a little less to offer, but I do think he's very capable. The more I watch of him, especially him at his Ajax days, the more I'm convinced he can be someone who can take adequate amount of the ball-playing responsibilities from Lisandro Martinez. He's a decent enough progressor of the ball. I believe that. And I think he would complement Ugarte quite well. I think they would work quite well together. Both powerful, both very energetic figures. I mean, remember like Thiago Dallo's, Rafael Varane's relationship, the way they would work with Casemiro. It's that sort of part, it mimics that a little bit. It mimics that. Three very passionate players. I always like that in my backline. Absolute bargain for £40 million. Let's see. I'm going to put another poll in the chat because I do like my polls. Let's go £42 million. A bargain. For De Ligt this summer. Let's see what you lot think. I'm intrigued. Have a poll, chat. Have a poll. £45 million for De Ligt is really good. I'm not convinced it's really good. I'm not convinced. So chat, please stay around. We're talking about Marcus Rashford next, everybody. Here's the next name on the agenda, and we're finishing off today with an update on Joshua Zirkzee, everyone. That is the plan for today. De Ligt under Nagelsmann was key to his system. I mean, the thing with De Ligt, he's been messed about so much. He's had one hell of a footballing upbringing at Ajax. He had that stability there. And he thrived. He looks really good. Touted as the next great centre-back, the heir to Vincent Kompany, the heir to the John Terrys, the heir to Virgil van Dijk's, the Rio Ferdinands, the Maldini. He was seen in that same light. So the fact that he's now sort of looked down upon, I'm sort of questioning why. Why is he not touted the same way? And I look at his manager history. He's had so many managers. At Juventus, he was thrown about. Honestly, the amount of managers had Allegri several times. Pirlo came in, I swear. At Bayern, he's had Tuchel, Hansi Flick, I think, Nagelsmann. He's been thrown about everywhere. Which is why I just don't think it's really that. I just think it's quite unfortunate for De Ligt. Which is why under a stable structure, I think De Ligt can thrive. And that's where we're looking to Erik ten Hag to provide that. Adam Calvert says Maguire plus £30 million for De Ligt. I'm not getting in a Maguire conversation. I talk far too much about Maguire and Onana on this channel. Far too much. Adam Calvert says, guessing he will be eating some Big Macs or KFC. His favourite song will be Fast Food, sung by the Fast Food Rockers. We have not got another Luke Shaw, mate. It's not another Luke Shaw. Ovagami, welcome back to the stream. De Ligt is a good choice at right centre-back, but poses a risk because of injury, especially last season. 38 million euros, pardon me, boys, is favourable with reasonable performance-based add-ons. I agree with that. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that take a lot. When it comes to his injury record, he's actually not that injury prone, chat. He gets a lot of stick for that. His only major injury that could reoccur is a shoulder injury, which is less likely to reoccur in football and less likely to sort of hold you back, to be honest with you. Less likely to hold you back. That is a bargain price. I was surprised Bayern are even willing to let him go. I mean, the poll and you lot, I always feel the polls are so much more informative than your lot's discussion because more people vote on them. Chat, if you're voting on the polls and not talking in the chat, get involved. Get involved. Why do you think he's a bargain? What have you seen from him? I agree with you, mind you. I agree. The more I've watched De Ligt at Ajax under a stable structure, under a consistent manager, I trust him. I trust him. I think he'll do really well. I think he'll do really, really well. Is United getting a here we go today? Says Kadali, welcome back to the stream, my friend. Personally, no. We're not getting a here we go today. I mean, I'll check. I don't think we will. But let's see if there's any more news out very quickly, chat. I mean, I don't think we're going to be getting a here we go today, to be honest with you. Don't think we're going to be getting a here we go. But deals are going to start to get done now. They're going to start to be completed. I mean, Archie Gray's been completed. With the second PSR has been sorted out. We're moving at light speed, chat. Getting Christopher Vivell across the line, making moves in Matthijs de Ligt. I'm going to ask the question again after we go over the Xerxes question about who do we think we're going to sign first. Because I think Joshua Xerxes, unfortunately, might take a bit more time now. But is there any more opinions on Matthijs de Ligt, anyone? He's a strong player and a natural leader, which we have lacked in our squad. How tall is De Ligt, chat? How tall is he? Can someone let me know? Can someone let me know? Because is he like 6'4", 6'5"? Because if he is, in my head, for some reason, only 6'2". I don't know why. But in my head, he seems a lot taller. I don't know. What about here we go this week? I think it's a here we go this week. I think Ugarte or De Ligt get over the line. Personally. That's what I think happens. De Ligt is keen. Ugarte is keen. We're just going to figure it out. I think it gets... Again, I said the third. We're going to get some news about a deal. That's my opinion. Milan is a good bargain if you say the defender in... oh, good God. I don't know what you're saying, Sonny. I don't know, brother. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. 6'4". This Origami, God, he's a monster. You know how much I like my tall players, chat. You know how much. Like, it sounds weird, but you need that sort of dominance. And chat, if you're enjoying the stream so far, please leave a like on the video. We're 7 likes away from 30 likes. It would mean the world if we could hit that target today. Ahmed, we will win the league and Europa League and FA Cup. Very enthusiastic for Tuesday morning, Ahmed. Tuesday morning is sort of my quiet day. There's usually less in the chat. It's like a day to relax. You have energy upon energy. But no, De Ligt being a 6'4" centre-back. Yeah, I like that. Who do you think will be our second centre-back if we can't get Vanthwaite, says Singh. I'm hoping Todibo. Just because he's cheaper. And I think he raises our rotation ceiling floor a little bit. I think Todibo is a long-term rotational centre-back at the club. I think, to me, if I was to plan it out, we reverse the appeal for Todibo, which we have a case for, which we're going forward with. So that's good news. If we get that across, Todibo comes to the club. frees up a bit more money to go after another midfielder maybe. It frees up some money to maybe go after, I don't know, a new right back if Wan-Bissaka leaves. I mean, ideally, you'd sign a Todibo and use the money which you would have used on Branthwaite on a Fofana. That's what I'd do. And then next summer, that's when you go after another big name centre-back. That's when you go try and purchase a Branthwaite. That's when you go after those. Maybe a Calafiori. Those are the names you go after then. I think one major centre-back in De Ligt this summer, that's all we need. That's all we need. 250k for De Ligt is too much. No. It will not be 250k. It won't. The whole sort of idea with this De Ligt deal is that we seem to be sort of we're surprised, I think, with how financially reasonable it is. It's like how he's not going to... We thought he'd be £65 million. He could be as low as £38 million. So I think the wage will be the same. I think it'll be like £170,000, £180,000 a week, plus like performance incentive add-ons. Like that's sort of what I'd go with. He possesses aerial dominance. Good Lord, he does. Good Lord, does he possess aerial dominance. That man is a monster. We should be looking at Desire Doué. That's someone who I'd go with. If we sign Todibo and we have some funds left over, get Doué in. Get a two-way winger. That's no. Premium, great shout. Great shout, premium. I forgot about Doué. But speaking about wingers, shall we move on to Marcus Rashford, a man who we can't really get out of our mouths this summer, chat. We can't seem to escape him. Samuel Luckhurst put out a report on him. And I'm going to sort of preface this. I have a lot of respect for Samuel. I think he's a fantastic journalist who occasionally, and this is just a professional opinion, can occasionally step over the mark, but that's just the way we we both do our jobs. But I wouldn't mind seeing some corroboration on this, potentially from another sort of player-related side. But Luckhurst is king with player relations, everybody. He says Manchester United have not ruled out the possibility of allowing Marcus Rashford to leave amid a possible adjustment to the player's representation. It is understood Rashford's brother, Dwayne Maynard, has held discussions with an agency to potentially assist managing the United forward. Manchester United sources insist their preference would be to keep Marcus Rashford and help him to regain his form. However, the club have not dismissed the possibility of allowing Rashford to leave after his relationship deteriorated. Can't speak today, chat. I can't speak. Deteriorated with Erik ten Hag last season. I mean, what do I think about that, chat? What do I think about that? It's something we've heard this before. We haven't heard the particular idea of Maynard going after an agency. That is new. And whenever you hear that sort of level of detail in reports, I'm typically inclined to believe it. I just am, because it's very easy to disprove. And I'm quite certain that's the case, which scares me a little bit. As someone who wants to keep Marcus Rashford at my football club, I want to keep him. It frustrates me that he's going out of his way to look elsewhere. But chat, off that report alone, how confident are you that Marcus Rashford stays at the club? Not your personal opinion on him. Your opinion if Rashford stays at the club. The Muppeteers have alluded to him leaving. They've sort of suggested the idea that he may go. What do you think? What do you think, chat? Do you think Marcus Rashford has a chance to leave this summer? And if he does, what percentage would you put on that chance? Do you still have hope for Yoros to sing? No. You know what? I'm going to, unless they're ever linked again, I will never talk about, I will try my best not to talk about Anana or Yoro on this channel. That is my promise to you lot. £80 million minimum for Rashford. Yes, at least 100 million, 120. That's what I'd ask for. Daniel says, what about Sancho and Greenwood? Both deals that I'm guessing are progressing quite slowly. I just think they're sort of plodding along at this point. I think Greenwood's just sort of being touted about. We're building a bidding war. I think we're trying to find a market for Jadon Sancho. But again, the three English lads who would get us, one of us will be a loss. But Rashford and Greenwood would bring in substantial PSR boosts. We would be financially very, very free. That would allow us to go all guns blazing for Jared Branthwaite. That would allow us to go all guns blazing for Victor Osimhen if we're so inclined. That's what that would give us. That's the only sort of benefit I see to Marcus Rashford leaving is he would give us leeway. I mean, to me, if Rashford goes, you go get Nico Williams. What a footballer. What a footballer. I'm going to say Anthony will win the Ballon d'Or next season, mark my word. Mate, I needed that on a Tuesday morning, mate. I needed that. Thank you. You made my morning. 0% says so. Vashi is the face of the franchise. He is. It is a very sort of American football thing, isn't it? Rashford is the face of the franchise. He's the face of the club. He's the face of the industry, practically. He's the face of England. There's a commercial going around after England games. It's like, hate is not on my shirt, and it's a sort of method of approaching football players, which I'd encourage everyone watching the stream to take up. I'm going to end the poll now, by the way, guys. And the end of that commercial, the advertisement, it's Rashford at the end for an England ad. He is not even with the England squad, and he is still the face of England. Still the face of football. Marcus Rashford is the face of football in England. So it's also, I think, we're going to be quite hesitant to let him leave. But it's interesting, Luckhurst highlights his relationship with Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag called him out on Dutch TV, saying he lacked last season and he was lacking. That's brave, Erik. That's brave. During contract negotiations, Erik ten Hag called out one of the biggest players in world football. I mean, it's brave. The man has balls. I'll give him. I respect him for that. Premium says Nico is an improvement on Rashford. Even you can't deny that. In the current form, yes. He is a devastating footballer who can play both wings, two-footed somewhat. Yeah, I like the look of him. I think you'd be a fool not to. The problem is he's going to demand ridiculous wages. He is currently living the life in Spain, probably going to a vineyard every other week, sitting on the beach, sipping a cocktail and a beer, loving his life, playing with his brother, winning trophies. Why would he want to leave? We spoke yesterday about Joshua Zirkzee and not wanting to leave because of how comfortable he is in Italy. This man has no reason to leave Bilbao at all. Playing for a club which he loved. I mean, you were off your rocker, Ahmed. Yeah, Adam, I agree with you. I agree. Singh says, unless PSG loses their heads and offers north of £120 million, he will stay, or unless he falls out with Erik again. If he falls out with Erik, he's gone. Falls out with Erik, he's gone. I believe that. And guys, we have 5 likes away from 60 likes. There is over 50 of you streams. Sorry, 5 likes away from 30 likes. There is over 50 of you in the stream right now. I'd really appreciate you if you left a like on the video, if you're enjoying the stream so far. And as always, smash that subscribe button. 65% of you aren't subscribed to the channel. I would really appreciate your support. I honestly wouldn't take £150 million for Marcus. Let's see what you lot would take. Another poll. I discovered how to do polls. I'm so excited to do them. I'm so excited. How much would you sell Marcus Rashford for? We'll do base figures. So we'll do £80 million or less. Then we'll do £80 million, £2 million. To £100 million, and then we'll do a bit more as well. Do one more as well. Over £100 million. I'll check the news again in a second, guys. I'm quite hopeful we get some more news while on the stream, so please stick about for the end of the stream. You never know what we're going to hear on this stream, everyone. You never quite know. Let me have a little check now, chat. Let me have a little check. Do anyone believe Luckhurst hates Erik ten Hag? Which is sort of why I do sort of buy into this support about Rashford. Rashford doesn't get along with ten Hag that well. I think that's pretty sort of well known. They're not on the same page at the moment, which is why if we're hearing reports that Rashford isn't getting along with with Erik ten Hag, then I'm going to be quite inclined to believe it, and to believe the information he's getting. So hey ho. I mean, you're not saying £80 to £100 million being the fee you'd sell him for. I think that's fair. Nico is on form. Rashie is still clear. We will do a Nico Williams, Marcus Rashford poll in a second. £80 million max, says Z. Oh, you lot don't like him, do you? Which deal do you think will be done first from the players we're targeting? I mean, it's changing every day. Yesterday, I said Xerxes. Yesterday, I was confident that it was Xerxes. Today, then there was news about him not wanting to leave because of the Euros or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I think he'll make his decision once the Dutch are knocked out. Or they win. Maybe they win. But once this tournament's over, I expect the deal to accelerate. Eric Ten Hag still kept picking Rashford. I mean, he did, but he favoured Garnacho more. And Rashford was injured as well last season. I mean, I'm always hesitant talking about Rashford because he's quite a controversial lad to be talking about. Bilbao are a difficult club to negotiate. Remember when we thought we had agreed a deal for Ander Herrera the first time around? I don't remember that. That was a long time before I was like clued into the whole sort of transfer scene. Remember, lads, I'm 20. Ander Herrera was how many years ago? God, how many years ago did we sign Ander Herrera? Is it 10 years ago now, maybe? Oh my God. Jesus wept. I would have been 10. No, it must have been a bit later. It must have been. Everton hired £80 to £100 million for Rashie. I mean, we'll end that poll and we'll put the Nico Williams Marcus Rashford poll up just to see what you lot think about that. I mean, I know what the answer's going to be. Who would you rather have as your winger next season? Rashford, Nico Williams. There we go, chat. Have your fun. Were his tears at the end of the final because he knew it was his last game? If he knew it was his last game, we would all know. We would all know. I don't, that sort of stuff doesn't sort of... It's not quiet, that. It's not quiet. Toulon, welcome back to the stream, my friend. It's been a minute since I've seen you about. If anything, Eric Ten Hag was too loyal to Rashford when he was absolute garbage. I disagree with that. Eric Ten Hag single-handedly was saved in his first season by Rashford. I think he felt a little bit in debt to him personally. Z saying Nico Williams. Vote on the poll, my friend. Vote on the poll. Let's see if there's any more news been released very quickly. There's a few other things to talk about as well about Joshua Zirkzee. We'll cover him just before we end the stream. Stick around, chat. We've got some news to break about that. If I can find it. Where is it? Where is it, everybody? Here we go. Bologna director Safori says, Joshua Zirkzee has a release clause in his contract, and I believe he's 99% going to leave the club. Fab reported that. Yeah. That's what I'd go with. So Joshua Zirkzee is on the move this summer. To where he's going, we don't know. I remember reading a report, was it Plettigol? Saying that that he still hasn't made a decision yet about AC Milan? Because it seems that they've sort of gone away from the deal. Sonny says you are just chatting trash. I mean, you're commenting, pal. You're commenting. Rashford's my baller, by the way. Yeah. I know he is, mate. I know you're loyal to the man. Let's not get carried away with this Nico Williams nonsense as well. Rashford plays in the Premier League. Williams plays in La Liga. Light Liga, as you're calling it. Let's not disrespect La Liga, though. Chat, let me know. How many English sides win the Champions League semi-final this year? How many? How many was there? How well was Nico Williams performing at the Euros? I mean, look, I love Rashford even more than the next guy. But, look, when it comes to Nico Williams, he is having a hell of a tournament and a hell of a season at the moment. So let's be a bit respectful towards him as well. And towards the Liga. All these top leagues are incredible standards. They're incredible. Any last little points before I end the stream? Any last little points? 60% of you think Nico Williams is your man. God. Jesus, wet lads. Jesus. What has Nico Williams done in La Liga for Athletic Bilbao, a club that relies purely on players from around their area, working purely from it's not Catalonia, is it? It's Basque. It's Basque. Purely from the Basque region. The fact that they are able to accomplish so much and win a trophy is incredible. Genuinely, it's absolutely incredible what that club does, and Nico Williams has been integral to them doing it over the years. So, yeah, that's my opinion on it. Nico Williams does loads there. Teb says, forget Williams, sign Doué and he'll be the perfect Rashford replacement in due time. If you get rid of Rashford, you have to sign a superstar. You have to sign a superstar. Nico Williams, to me, yeah, that boy's going to be a superstar. Adam Calvert, will Xerxes require a work permit? He will, just like everyone's going to require a work permit. And look, we'll get that sorted in due time. Every player who's going to have to come in from overseas has to get a work permit. Vivell is getting a work permit, in fact. But guys, thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. I'm here every day at 11 a.m. If you've enjoyed, please smash that like button and hit the subscribe button as well. We have an interview with Graham Bailey, an exclusive interview at 2:30 p.m. today. To make sure you catch that. I'm here every day at 11 a.m. I'll see you boys tomorrow.